Hi everyone, welcome to our new research methods tutorial series. And these are the various topics we'll be covering in this series, okay? So first we'll look at all these basic parts. Then later I'll show you how to choose a research topic, how to write research questions, hypotheses, objectives, literature review, and more. I'll also show you referencing, data analysis, how to write research proposal, and what have you. Okay. So without wasting much time, let's start with the introductory part of the course. So to start, let's look at what research is, okay? Now, there are so many definitions for research, but let's take one of them for now. So that is a definition according to Redman and Murray in their book, The Romance of Research in 1923. They defined research as a systematic effort to gain new knowledge. Now, when we say something is systematic, it means that that thing is structured, okay? The thing is organized. It follows a methodical process. It's not just a random process or unplanned process or a disorganized process. It is a planned or organized process, okay? So, a systematic effort to gain new knowledge. So, to gain new knowledge involves to discover, to create new information, to get insight into something or to understand something, okay? So that is gaining new knowledge. So keep this note, that research is a systematic investigation to establish facts or to reach conclusions, okay? It uses scientific methods to gather, analyze, and interpret data, okay? When we go forward, I'll show you how to collect data, how to analyze data, how to interpret it, and the likes, okay? And it helps in decision making to solve organizational or societal problems and to add to knowledge. Okay, so let's look at the characteristics of a good research. Now, one of the characteristics of a good research is that it should be systematic. As I said earlier, it should be organized, it should be planned, it shouldn't be disorganized, it shouldn't be aimless, it shouldn't be bizarre, excuse me to say. Another characteristic is it should be objective. That is, it should not be biased or partial, okay? It should focus on facts and evidence to draw conclusion. Now, one problem with qualitative research is that it can be biased. But you don't worry, when we get there, we'll talk more about it. Now, another characteristic of good research is that it should be logical. It should use valid arguments and evidence to support its finding. You get it? Then, another characteristic is that it should be empirical. When we say empirical, it means that it relies on data that is collected whether through observation, through experimentation, or any other means. But it shouldn't be based on assumption. It shouldn't be assumption. That's what matters. It should be based on actual data that is collected, not assumptions. Is that okay? Another characteristic is that it should be replicable. It means that it can be repeated by other researchers, but it should be under similar conditions in order to verify the results. And this is going to help us to ensure that our study is valid and reliable. Now, another characteristic is validity and reliability, as I said earlier. So it should measure what it intends to measure, and the result should be consistent and accurate. Okay, it should be valid and reliable. Another characteristic is ethical. Now, ethical involves a lot, but let me explain it briefly. Now, one is that you should protect the well-being of your participants. So, like confidentiality, anonymity, like keeping them anonymous. There are some that you don't keep them anonymous to, but they must be aware and accept to it. That's, you seek their consent, okay? And also, you should avoid plagiarism. You give credit to all your sources. You give them credit. Is that okay? Then, another characteristic is transparency. That is, you should clearly document your method, your procedure, and the source of your data so that others can understand. Is that okay? Another characteristic is purposeful. Your research should be purposeful. That means that you should have a clear goal or objective. It should address a specific problem, question, or hypothesis. Is that clear? Another characteristic is feasible. Feasibility. That is, it should be practical and achievable within your means, okay, within the specified time or within your budget. It should be practical and achievable. That's what I mean by feasibility. Is that okay? And the last characteristic we are going to look at for now is relevance. It means that your research should be meaningful. It should contribute to knowledge, or it should solve a problem in your organization or society. Is that clear? So let's look at the purpose of research. So the first purpose is to explore and discover. That is to uncover new knowledge that were previously not known or not really known. Is that okay? And then another purpose is to describe. That is to provide detailed account or description of a particular situation. Another purpose is to explain. That is, we try to understand the causes or relationships and reasons behind certain behavior. Is that okay? That is to explain. Another purpose is to predict. That is, we are going to use current data and pattern to forecast future outcomes or what will happen in the future or trends. Is that okay? Then another purpose of research is to evaluate. We are going to assess the effectiveness, the impact, okay, or the value of something. So that's evaluation. Another purpose is to control. We manipulate variables to get desired outcome. And the last purpose we'll look at is to compare, to identify similarities and differences between two or more subjects. So for this one, we can easily understand how they vary and their strengths and weaknesses. Is that okay? Now, let's look at the importance of research. Now, one of the importance of research is to add knowledge, to add to the body of knowledge, to gain more knowledge. Is that okay? Another importance is to solve organizational and societal problems. To solve problems in your organization or society. Is that okay? And some other importance are to inform policy and decision making, improve education, innovation and technology. All these importance I've listed are basically talking about the same thing. So you can keep these two first, to add to knowledge and to solve organizational and societal problems. It can lead us to innovation and technology. We can improve education. Governments and businesses can use it to make decisions. Is that clear? And then this is research process. But we'll be treating each of these as topics when we go forward. I'll show you how to identify a problem or question, how to review existing literature, how to formulate your objectives and hypotheses, how to select appropriate research methodology and more. I'll be showing you all these individually as topics. But before then, we need to look at the classifications of research. So let me take some break for now, then we continue in the next session. You can get a link to the next session displayed on your screen right now, or check the description area of this video for it. Thank you and see you in the next session.